going to learn how to improve our map's performance. Right now you can see we're at like 40 FPS, 30 FPS, and we're going to also learn how to improve the download and loading speed of your games and reduce file sizes. If we go take a look at our project size by clicking on it, we can see we're at 2000 upload, nearly max, and download is 250. So if anybody wanted to play our map, they're going to have a very long wait to get inside. So we can go see what's causing this by sorting it by download size or upload size. And we can see that a big portion of this is material instances. Well, they're actually a tiny part. It's our meshes and it's our textures. So I'll start with textures. We're going to go find our textures. This is for custom props, but we're also going to be doing this for just in general too. So let's start with our textures. What we're going to do is go create a new folder. I'm just going to call this folder YouTube tutorial folder. Okay, now that we've got this, we're going to go and select every single one by clicking the first one and then shift clicking onto the last one. Do this for each folder you have and do this by folder so that it is easier to import the new things. Make sure to also check in changes in the bottom right very regularly in case something happens that you do not like. You can easily revert back to previous settings. So once you're here, just write whatever you want. Write something appropriate, like before changing textures, quality, or whatever. This is helpful to know what actually changed at this point. So we're going to go ahead and shift click all these. And we're going to bulk export by right clicking one. And go down to asset actions, bulk export. And we're going to go put this into the folder that we just created. While this is downloading, we're going to go over to Cesium image compressor. You can do this on the internet, but I just have it downloaded. Link in the description and comments. Open up our image compressor. If you're using it on the internet, you can do that version too. But we're going to go ahead and add folder. And obviously ours is called YouTube tutorial folder. How to optimize your map. Just keep clicking into it. Ours is textures. Now we can see that we have every single image in here. I'm going to leave quality at 85%. Seems to work fine for me. If you want it higher, you could probably go to like 90. For me, this is going to work fine. So you're going to overwrite these images. Wait, actually, before that, just in case you don't have any duplicates, let's go ahead and duplicate this folder. This way, we're going to have two in case any of them go wrong. They shouldn't. They wouldn't, but you know, this is just for you guys to considering you guys not being able to get your pictures back. Okay, so you're gonna not be able to get images back. Is that fine? Yes. This isn't gonna directly increase performance, but this will make your maps load a lot faster and give you much more of your project size back. So you can see here that we saved the 1.5 gigabytes, which is massive, right? So right now, let's go ahead and look. We're at like near enough 2K and 251 for download. Let's go and see what these changes make. We're going to go find our folder that we just used. And we're just going to go shift click again. So click the first image and then the last image and shift click them all. We're going to have to spam yes a lot of times here. So, you know, I'm not saying have a macro, but get ready to click a lot of times. If you want to support the channel and continue helping me to grow, you can donate to me on Coffee. Use creator code GISMO in the Fortnite item store. I have a Patreon. Liking the video, commenting, and join Discord. Everything really helps, so I appreciate anything that you guys do. Okay, so now that we've reduced the quality, or at least the file size of all these images, let's go ahead and take a look. how fast your map loads and the decreased project size, but it isn't really going to give much of a performance increase because these files still have the same resolution. So that will be what we change next, but let's go ahead and check the project size changes first. Okay, so we don't need to go much further here because we can see that we've gone from like 2000 to 1300, so this saved us about 700 megabytes on upload, which is fantastic just from the get-go. Next up is going to be the reducing the resolution of textures. This will give a performance increase, and it will increase loading speeds and reduce project size. This is where it's going to be a bit more time consuming because you can't just reduce all of them in the same way. You can actually, that's not true, but you are going to have an issue where you could get blurry textures. So this is also why it's important to regularly check in changes. It does seem like Fortnite is just stuck at uploading 80% forever, so I might quickly restart Fortnite. Okay, so in reducing texture sizes, we can open up our texture, and in here we can see we have a max in-game of 1K, which is actually good. It's kind of what we want. It seems like maybe all of them are. Okay, that's actually kind of perfect. But if you want to reduce that further, I think if we just type in max in-game, right, there we go. So you can experiment with numbers between like this would be your biggest one, 2024, and your smallest one would be like 128. What I'd recommend is maybe checking ChatGPT, the best kind of, or any AI, the best texture size to use for your specific prop, or maybe different props have got like, you see we have base color, ORM, and MSK. So these can be reduced to different sizes. It also kind of depends how big your prop is. Obviously, a smaller prop could get away with having even smaller resolution. Just for the sake of this video though, I'm going to do it the way that I recommend you don't do it. Just for the sake of speeding up this process. This way is definitely not as good. But you can just press reduce like that. This is quite bad because if you want to revert it, you can't. But I'm just showing this for the sake of getting that project size down. But yeah, the best way you do it is changing your maximum texture size to like 512, and yeah, it's just a little bit more time consuming, but definitely worth putting in the extra time if you like care about your map. There is another way actually we can be compressing our textures, and it's by changing these settings. I recommend you just, it's probably not worth it for a Fortnite map, but if you really need the extra compression, then you can go for it. But I won't cover that because I think that's more an advanced technique. I'll kind of want to cover basic techniques. So next up, in reducing project size and kind of performance too with this one as well, we're going to go into our static meshes. We can find which ones are using the most project size by obviously clicking project size and filtering. To begin with, we can see our biggest project size is SM carousel. We can browse to it by right clicking it and clicking browse, and this will take us to it. We can see that this is like 10k, which probably is not that bad if we think about it. But anyway, we're gonna, oh damn, But look at the nanite amount. Crazy. So it's 350k. In here, we're going to go ahead and change keep triangle percent. And press apply changes. Our goal here is to reduce keep triangle percent amount to a point where it looks good. However, it looks good, but we've managed to save 1 billion storage. Essentially, like at this point, maybe that is too reduced for you. So you can go ahead and put that safe. Maybe let's try 15. Because this has lost a bit too much quality, I would say. So let's keep changing this till we find something more appropriate. Now, obviously, this is just in general an expensive mesh, I'd say. But here, up to this point, maybe 25, I'd say is worth it. We've managed to reduce its size by 60%. Now, we do have generate fallback mesh. We can just change this from auto to percent triangles if we need to like forcibly reduce the non-nanite version. I just keep it on auto. In general, I don't change that, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works at least. But yeah, for us, I'd say 60% gains while still maintaining near enough all of the quality. Because like, if I just change this from 25 to 100, we're going to be losing so much of this good shit that we want. Like, we're wasting much more resources for a marginal increase in quality. So it's not, I don't even know if I worded that properly. I'm probably yapping, but that is how you do this. We could do this for a couple more. For example, trash. And then I'm going to move on to some next techniques. So again, look, 80k, it's just not appropriate for us to be using this much resources when, look, see on 25%, it's good enough. Now, maybe you want to go further. Obviously, this is just where you're going to need to play around and find the performance versus quality payoff balance for you. But next up, we're going to learn about HISM, which is hierarchical instant static mesh. There's plenty of ways we can do this. I'm going to teach you the fastest way, assuming you've already got everything down. Let's go ahead and right click on our mesh, and we're going to press select actors using this asset. We can see we have 4. If I press G for game view, we can see we've got 2 over here, and I don't know where the other 2 are. Typically with this, it's better to be used when there's loads of the same actor. So 4, it still probably will benefit just about, but not tremendously. So how it works is, instead of drawing these 4 things separately, it just draws 1 in 4 different locations. It will still cost extra because there's 3 materials though. But let's go ahead and select all these. And we're going to go into modeling. Remember to also be saving your checking changes regularly. But go to Xform by clicking modeling up here. Xform harvest instances, and we can just call this SM trash S4 HISM. Call it whatever you want. I think this works for me. Whilst we've now got this HISM, some things that's important to know about actually is when you make a HISM, if any of these scales are in the negative, your normals are going to get fucked up and it's going to look really weird. So make sure you don't have any negative scales. Another thing to know as well, if we go back into our HISM, our materials might get messed up, so it's something we need to make sure inside our material. Because this is a material instance, it should have it on, but either way, we're just going to go and type in instanced. It doesn't have it by default, so let's go into the master material. And inside of this master material, we need to ensure that used with instanced static meshes is enabled. Do that for however many materials I use in this. But yeah, then let's go into some more performance benefits that we can learn about. Now that these are all grouped together, we can disable gravity if they don't need gravity. We can disable generate overlap events unless you need that for some reason. If you need that, I'm sure you'd know. Can character step up on? That means you want to be able to, like, if you walk into it, do you want to be able to walk on top of it, essentially? If you don't have it on, it would kind of like work as a wall. Something to know with this as well. Actually, no. But yeah, do we need collision? For us, I think it would be fine if they actually walked through these materials. So disabling these is going to save you like a little bit of storage. Performance, sorry. As well, does this need to cast shadow? That's an important thing to know. So if we look at this and we enable and disable shadow, how much do we actually need that? It's important for you to think about that yourself, but generally small things will not be worth having the shadows on. Now, if you've messed up your HISM somewhere, you can actually, while still in the modeling X form, you can press ISM editor and you can click on it. If you need to click on multiple, you shift click, and that's how you can either move these, you can clear them, delete them, whatever that you need to be doing with them. Another performance increase is disabling these things. We see LOD over here. For example, if I put this on Epic, if somebody has settings lower than Epic, they won't be able to see it. This is going to save some performance. This can be done with lights as well. The thing here is you've got to make sure this is like just a really small thing, probably something with no collision that is just for the point of decorations. Anything like a wall or anything like that should be kept on low. One more performance increaser we can use and take advantage of is this desired max draw distance. So when you are outside of this radius, you will not be able to see this prop. It doesn't really show it inside of the editor that well, but if I was actually in Fortnite, this would show perfectly. I think there's maybe some other thing in here that we could change, but for the most part, this is good enough. Let's just check. Can be damaged, obviously we don't need that. Spatially loaded, if you're using loading, then that will load and deload based on your settings. Just trying to quickly look through. I think that's about that for those. I think next up we should learn about lighting. So if we look at maximum shader complexity at the bottom, we can see pink bad, blue good. Simple enough, I suppose. So the idea here is that, to get into that view model, I pressed Alt 7, and to go back to normal, I pressed Alt 4. You can change it up here in lit as well. If you click lit, then you can change it to optimization Alt 7. Like, this is where you can find those optimization view models. So the next place is obviously lighting. The thing here is essentially don't overlap your lights. As well, set all your lights to be stationary. Unless they need to move, then keep it on movable, but realistically your lighting should be on stationary. You want to make sure that they're not overlapping and reduce attenuation radius where possible. this is going to give you massive performance increases, especially if you got as many lights as we do in this scene. And you know, maybe even removing lights where they're not needed. So you have to balance between how it looks and how it performs. Both is quite important. As well with lighting as well, you can do the same max draw distance that we could with props. Definitely going to be useful to play around with this so you can get the best performance possible in your maps. And obviously another massive thing to be looking at is cast shadows. Is this worth casting shadows? For me, I'm going to say in this scenario, it probably might not even be worth it. But essentially, shadows are really expensive to render, so avoid them where possible. And obviously on your props, let's assume this was our Hislam again, we'd just have shadows disabled, assuming it was a small enough prop. This should be everything you need to know in order to optimize your map, to reduce your project size, increase FPS, and yeah, hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more in depth about these things. Check out Asion's channel and game dev Micah. Yeah, have a good one, guys. If you want to support the channel to help me to grow, you can donate to me on Coffee. Use creator code GISMO in the Fortnite item store. I have a Patreon. Liking the video, commenting, and join Discord. Everything really helps, so appreciate anything that you guys do.